I was like really grinding like the whole time. Actually, I never really had any chips. I think I chipped up to like maybe 1.8 or maybe like 2.2 million, pretty like steadily, not early, just when that was about average. Then I remember I lost a few pots. I think my low point was about 700K or something. But even when, actually my low point 700K, I think that was when there were 20 people left or something. So kind of I was just grinding the whole tournament. When we made the money, I was either last in chips or second to last in chips. Like never doubled up, I'm pretty sure, in the tournament before we hit the money. As soon as we hit the money, I doubled one hand, like a coin flip, ace 10 versus threes. But I mean, I pretty much just like grinded and like kind of just wanted to give myself a chance in the tournament. And just like, for me, I feel like the most important thing is just to still be in there. It doesn't matter how many chips you have.
Right.
Like for me, I think I'm very dangerous even if I'm sitting there with 8 blinds, because all of a sudden you get a few hands, like all of a sudden you're sitting with, there were 30 blinds. And if you have the mentality where you could change your game like very well and adjust very well, you can do it faster than people expect. And you can go from playing solid with a short stack to now aggressive to solid to like, you can really start like kind of tricking people, and starts getting to be a mind game when you're kind of swinging around stacks. Like the thing is, I don't talk poker with anybody. So all these guys, they're studying like these things, these theories, these ideas of how they should play. Right. Okay, so if I know who's friends with each other, I know what they're talking about, and I get to study like 10 different people at the same time when they get 1/10 of the hands versus me. I think it all comes down to like hands, kind of. And I just have I've been just blessed with an incredible memory. So, I mean, I can think back to tournaments, and I could recite, of that like 25K no limit in 2010, I could tell you like a few hands I played against like Justin Bonomo, like in the beginning of day 2.
Right.
When like me and him had like one of the best wars in that tournament of any tournament I ever had.
I did read something that if your mother got you baseball cards or trading cards when you were a kid, and you could remember like as you were super young, like literally ridiculously young, you would memorize like 60 player names and stats and stuff. So
yeah, I mean, I think they might have like, I think someone maybe exaggerated the thing where I knew like stats and stuff. But I mean, my mom and dad say for sure like it was at 50 to 75 cards, and before I could read, I knew names and positions at least, which. I mean, anyway, it just, I mean, maybe I was born with a sick memory also, but also maybe that trained my memory from like a young age too, just, and honed my skills to make like the memory I have now, which it's crazy. I can think, if someone tells me something, I could think about it and I could see, not even just a picture, I could see like a video of it in my head, kind of. I could see the people moving, I could see a reenactment of like the scene. It's like I see a movie in my head almost.
Yeah, it sounds like a photographic memory, even more so, videographic memory.
Special, something special.
Something's
for
going
sure.
on up there.
I mean, I had like so many crazy ups and downs too, because I think it was in even before that 2010, I had already went on a run on Full Tilt Poker where I turned like 50K on Full Tilt and Poker Stars into like 3.5 million in 2 months playing Heads Up Omaha when I never played Omaha before.
Wow.
Like I never played a hand of Omaha. I hopped into 2550 Omaha one day, and 2 months later I was winning 3.5 million in Omaha. Never discussed a hand with anybody, just like sat there and kind of got like a feel for it. By the end I was playing 500, 1,000 versus like Ivy and PLO, and I think maybe I was one of the biggest winners against him. I remember I beat him for maybe like 700 or 800K.
Right.
Like then just like kind of started being stupid, staking too many people, like spending too much. So like that 3.5, I didn't even lose myself. Maybe I lost like 500 myself. So like the thing is that's always saved me is my poker career, like my graph is just straight up. Like even when I say I've had like these $1 million downswings and being negative, a lot of that you could account for just like spending, staking, sports.
When you started, where you were in the world in the all-time minus, so 7,523, 47, 1,000, 450, 333, 189, 90, 49, 20, 10, 4, and 1. So I mean that's a pretty crazy to see the run here.
What a steady climb. And the thing is too, like, I mean, a lot of people, the one thing people say is, oh, you get like a big cash in one tournament or whatever. But the thing is, all the people who were in the top 10 like before this, except for me, all had these big cashes in $1 million tournaments too. And I was still up there anyway, with my biggest cash being 3 mil this year in Triton. And before this year, biggest cash being like 2 mil or something, winning 100K in Monte Carlo. So I mean, I have like 55 million cashes, of course, but 35 of that is just from like just cashing over and over again, where my biggest cash being 3, second biggest 2, third biggest 1 point set. Like, yeah, I mean, just like results nonstop.
I mean, this 2019. So you go to Melbourne, you just rock the first place there. Then you go here and you got a 3 million, a 1.5, and a 2.7.
Well, look, I even stopped in Vegas and got like a little win too, like before.
Oh wow!
Like just like for fun, I was like, I guess I might as well go to the U.S. Poker Open and win like one of these for fun.
That's a nice sport.
Actually, it was amazing too because I had a party in Vegas on that exact date, and I remember I was leaving my friend Lauren Roberts' house where like I would stay. Like, yeah, Lauren's like one of the best people for sure.
She's
amazing.
A lot of fun. Yes,
for sure, sweetest people.
Yes.
So like I was leaving that morning, and she had won actually the 10K the day before.
Yes.
And she's telling me like, oh, you better make it for your party. Yeah, don't worry, Lauren. I'm gonna win this one like before the party even starts. And like I won the final table in some like crazy record time in like an hour or something. If you watch the recap of that tournament, like I destroyed this tournament from the beginning to the end. I made like a super gangster hero call against Tan Wan like at the beginning, like, and just kind of made a lot of good bluffs and chipped up really nice with no showdowns. I lost a flip versus Tim to have 90% of the chips in play three-handed or something, where Dan would have got heads up with me then. Then like again, I lost another hand where I flopped trip threes or fours on like 4-4-3, or it was 3-3 deuce, and he hits running fives with like a 5-8 off, like winning some huge pot.
Damn. Then
like lose another one versus a flush on the river. So I kind of had that tournament and got unlucky. Kind of like I had this tournament and got like lost a few all-ins too. It just when it gets heads up is the thing. You could have a 5-1, 6-1, 7-1 lead and have crushed the whole tournament. All it takes is 2 lost all-ins and you're behind.
Yeah, it is. Heads up is a beast, right? Like it's never really over until it's over.
Yeah.
And just the chips start getting in, you get short stacked 10 the money.
So I mean, I'm lucky. Like good thing I made like a deal again. Like actually, they told me the stats. I think it was. Going into this final table, I won either 7 of the last 8 or 8 of the last 9 heads-ups I was in. And the only one I lost was to Tim that like we made a deal. And then I lost this one too. And I'm pretty sure I didn't make a deal in a single one of the other ones.
So you might be out. You might be out on the deal making.
So I'm like, I won like the last 7 of 9 heads-ups and made a deal on the 2 that I lost and none of the ones that I won. So
how ridiculous does that sound? Like, did you ever imagine when you were playing, starting online, you're talking about a $20 million one score? I mean, how does that even? How do you put that into reality?
See, like it's crazy, but I feel like I just always set up a mindset. Like we were sitting at French Laundry, and I was sitting with one of my friends who was friends with me for a long time, like back when I was 18, 19, talking on MSN, one of the first people that I would talk with. And he was telling my mom at the lunch, she's like, yeah, you know what? Like one thing about Bryn is, even at 18, 19 years old, he would always say like, watch, I'm going to be the best in the world, like at this game.
Yeah.
So the thing is, like, I kind of always just envisioned that and worked harder than everybody else. Like win or lose, like I just pretty much put 100% of my time into this game.
Right.
Like playing all day, every day, like only thinking about this, thinking about nothing else. Not like that's good for your life, but that's what made me so good at this game, of course. One thing I kind of always would tell myself that I think like really worked through like rough times was like, just don't imagine that you're gonna run up a mountain. Just like if you want to get up a mountain, like you're gonna have to like claw and like work. And like you're gonna have to really show like you want to get there. Let's say it's something like a mountain like Mount Everest or something. Mm-hmm. You want to climb like that, you have to come prepared, you have to come smart, you have to have all like the right gear, you have to do it like the smart way.
There's even points where you have to stop for like a day. There's like to get acclimated to altitude. So it's similar. There's points you can't just like go from run
exactly.
Up, right?
So like there, if you want to do something, you have to prepare for it. Like if you don't come prepared, like you just don't really have a chance. So people imagine like, oh, they try to imagine things like, oh, my luck is bad. If this didn't happen, like then I could have done this. Like as soon as you start thinking in negative ways, like if or would have or could have, and I'm unlucky because of this, and just starting to put like negatives on yourself, you're just gonna like sink as opposed to anything else. Because if you want to actually do well, you want to actually like build yourself to where you want to be, it takes a lot of work. It takes getting punched in the face over and over again, being able to take it, being able to have like your best friends turn on you, like all the people you helped out, be able to just like accept like everything. Like it's like a fight. Like I consider myself like a gladiator. Like I feel like we're in a video game, and I feel like, okay, when I was younger, one like
the
weird,
Matrix,
yeah, of course, like one weird thing always for me was not even weird. I just kind of thought about it when I was older. Every single time when I was younger, what would be on TV when I turned it on was Gladiator. And it's like crazy. It was like every single time. Like I would always kind of fall asleep on the couch when I was like, let's say 16, 17, 18, 19. Like in this age, I would just fall asleep on the couch watching some movie or something. And it was just, Gladiator was on so much more than anything else. And I think that I really just maybe even learned like from that. Like, hey, you could be someone who's on the absolute top. Something happens like out of your control completely to like kick you down to the absolute bottom. The question is like now is when you're shown like, do you have the heart or not? Do you have what it takes to get yourself back, to make all the steps, like to get yourself where you want to be when your mind is kind of used to already being there? You have to now forget about the past and say, okay, you were there, that's over. Like the only place you are is where you're at right now. And if you want to get there, it's just making good decisions every day over and over and over again. That's like really what it comes down to.